So Blockhead came into the mix and he wrote, "Yeah, Motor Noob, I've always loved you. You're much better than me at motovlogging." Oh, Blockhead.
There we go, look at it, look at the trike taking the cars. Welcome back guys to another test review, and today we're going to be doing something that's really special, something that I never thought I'd be able to get the opportunity to go on. But Steve at Harley Davidson, the GM, gave me a call and he was like, "Noob, I got something for you that you're going to really love." This is the 2018 Tri-Glide 107 Milwaukee 8 engine, and at a first glance it's a little bit different, you know, admittedly, but I must admit the stuff on it, it looks pretty cool. I mean, we've got the performance machine wheels which look really nice, good colour scheme. You've got this nice mixture of almost a Goldie's colour mixed in with some red striping, some nice satin black. And then hitting it off with the wheels, it looks really good. Now I must admit, I'm going to be really honest with you guys, as I always am, and say that I'm a little bit apprehensive with this. For me, there's some challenges. You've got to be more forward thinking when riding a bike like this, because dimensions is completely different. So the things I'm a little bit concerned about, and again something that I've got to think about with planning ahead, is things like roundabouts. Now because of the dimensions on this bike, it is wider at the rear, so I've got to make sure that my alignment is correct. Other things I've got to remember is that I can't filter. That is definitely going to be a no-no today. And the other thing as well is in terms of my body positioning. So those are my concerns on this bike. So in this situation,
when riding something new, I always like to get a bit of advice because, as I said, I'm a noob. So in view of this, I went back to the WhatsApp group. As you guys know, I'm in the Moto Vloggers group with Blockhead, John Maxwell, Bike and Burn and Dan the Fireman. So there's a good bit of experience there. Asking those guys, this is what they said to me. So John Maxwell, his advice was, work out your upper body first and don't corner too fast. Also, don't forget, you take up an entire lane. Seems pretty decent. Seen a lot of people slam the rear wheels into the curbs and stuff. I hope I got insurance. So Blockhead came into the mix and he wrote, "Yeah, test road, they're fun but getting used to the handling is weird. Don't have to lean like a normal bike." It's pretty straightforward. Have to turn the bars to turn. Have to turn the bars to turn. And like John Maxwell said, don't take turns too fast or you'll flip it. Bike and Bird wrote, "And that's why I won't test one. The whole time I just be trying to get that bitch up." 2 wheels. So yeah, that's what the guys wrote. Then I spoke to dealership manager and he just wrote, "Do not crash the thing." So yeah, that's my advice, guys. Guys, as always, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and yeah, just enjoy this vlog today. Let's get cracking.
Now the one thing I do want to point out is that this is not a detailed review. This is just a first ride experience. However, I do like to showcase some of the USPs on the bike. So without further ado, let's go into some cinematic footage and let's kick it. So getting onto the bike, what's worth noting is that there is a handbrake here, or a foot brake. But let's just jump on this bike. Oh, whew. feels pretty big. So in terms of the weight of this thing, it's around 500 kilos, guys, so it is a big bruiser of a machine. There's no reverse on this bike, so that's something that I've got to be aware of. I'm constantly going to be looking just at the rear, just making sure in terms of the width of this bike, I've got that good alignment as well. In terms of positioning with these bikes, you know, it's very similar. Well, it is practically the same as the Taurus, apart from 3 wheels versus 2. It's going to be an extremely comfortable machine. The seat on it, I've got so much back support. There is a lot of padding here, and there's clearly been a bit of customization put into that, which is sweet. Look at this. A real bike. It's a trike, yeah, it's a trike. I've been calling it a bike on this vlog already. I've just realised, following some banter there, I've been calling this thing a motorbike, and it's a trike, guys. So there you go, there's my terminology messing up already. So we need to get this thing going, so let's get started. Start her up. So chaps. Okay, so first thing I noticed, guys, it's a little bit shaky Stevens at low speed, so I guess when we start getting a little bit quicker, it'll be alright. But here we go, Motonewbrider on a trike. This thing is so weird. It's just crazy because obviously you're not leaning into it at all, and it's all at the front edge. I'm kind of bouncing about a bit. But it's so cool, it's so great to experience new things, no matter how different it is, and being on the trike is just one of those things for me. As you get up to speed on this thing, so I'm at 50 miles an hour, it's less rickety, but definitely at those lower speeds, because the bike is so firmly planted, it's just, you know, it does rock you around. But it's interesting, you know, I had all that, you know, that I was a bit nervous about riding this thing, but now I'm on it, it's, you know what, it's alright. So here we are, guys, we're coming up to my first roundabout experience on a trike. I got to remember my positioning, got to keep that wheel in the middle of the road, just taking it slowly, guys. That's what I've been advised. This feels, guys, so weird. It's weird. I'm trying to steer, it's odd. Oh my god. That is the weirdest experience ever. Oh, I don't know if I like that, I'll be honest. Just a bit of feedback on that, guys. Naturally, my body wanted to lean in. It wanted to apply a little bit of counter steer. Oh, and I was trying to do exactly the reverse, just using the bars. So blockhead was absolutely right. Remember to turn the bars more. I'm coming up to another roundabout, guys, so I'm just getting used to it. But it's just so weird. The one thing I have stopped doing is leaning into the bike. No, I haven't. That is a complete lie. But the key thing is, as I'm doing this, but it just feels so unnatural. That's the key thing. You just got to really twist those bars and go at the right speed. That's giving it a little bit of gun. I mean, this thing is a big bike, or big trike. Just over 500 kilograms. You know, it's a brute of a machine. Just doing a bit of overtaking, just making sure I'm wide enough. There we go. Look at it. Look at the trike taking the cars. So after having that little bit more practice, I'm going to do something that I thought I wouldn't do today on the trike. Let's go and take this bike on the Motonewb test track. So in 3, 2, 1. And here we are, guys, the Motonewbrider test track. So the first test is the acceleration. Bear in mind, this is a 107 Milwaukee 8. Personally, I think due to the weight, you probably need a bit more oomph in this, but let's see how it performs. So as we're coming into the national speed limit, I just want to turn that speed down into 20, so it's just about going to 60, guys. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And we're there. Clearly, because of the weight of the bike, it is a little bit sluggish, but it's not surprising. It's just under 500 kilo. And I always say this about cruisers, it's not about getting to A to B in the quickest time, it's about looking the coolest. Be honest, but I've probably spent around 25 minutes on this bike now, off camera, and it's surprising how quickly you get used to it. Into the 30, the brakes are pretty good on this thing, must admit. So with all trikes, I guess, or touring bikes, you want to make sure there's no vibrations at high speeds, because it's a touring model. So let's get it up to 60 and let's see how she feels. And I must admit, for me, I don't feel comfortable hitting 60 on these roads with a trike. It's more me than the bike, if anything. but in terms of vibrations, I'm not feeling anything coming through the handlebars. There's such a difference in the way the bike feels. I said it again. Trike, 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 trike. There's a difference in the way the Trike feels compared to the motorbike. This thing does love to bounce about a little bit, you know, and on a motorbike, you're able to steer into the corners and, you know, counteract all those little bumps, etc. You just can't with this. The next part of the test now is going over the railway track, which is the suspension test. So let's see how this thing handles or performs. Oh, I must admit, it's a little, it does chuck you around a little bit, and I guess that's the two rear suspension. You know, it's just again, it's a different experience. It's fun though, guys. I am enjoying myself. The next part of the test is the fun part. It's going to be different on this Trike, but it is the Twisty Turn. So without further ado, let's get into it. Turn those handlebars. This is the part of the test where you guys like to cover your iPads and not watch because you think everything's really close, but it's actually all right. But going through the twisty turns, it is very different. I'm glad that the brakes are good. That's the one thing I can rely on. A little bit rattly there. As I'm negotiating these bends, I've just got to remember the rear wheel, where that's positioned, or wheels I should say. And with the dimensions, as long as you've got all that in check, you should be okay. This is my favourite part. I usually get a little bit of air, but not today. We're going to be taking it nice and easy. Way. So we're coming up to the first quite tight bend. Let's see how the Trike performs. Glad to hear that I'm saying Trike instead of bike. Dropping it down, twisting those bars. God, you got to really fight that thing up front. But again, guys, it's a cruiser. On this type of Trike, you're just going to be relaxing and cruising around on it, not, you know, going quickly. So we're coming into the chicane part. It's a hard right and hard left. Bit of negotiating here. Let's hope they don't pull out in front of me. Oh, there's a wedding. There's a wedding. It definitely makes people turn their heads and have a look at this thing. Next part of the test, I just want to go on the A roads, see what it's like getting up to those speeds of 60 and just holding it. Much better environment for doing that. So let's go. So now we're up to 60 miles an hour. I can definitely test out these handlebars and see what they feel like from a touring perspective, and they feel good. Everything is just so solid on this bike. From an ergonomics position, it's a great riding position. I'm pretty much upright, but this seat, it just feels like I'm sitting on a cloud. The handlebars, again, I've always mentioned this, I prefer them to be higher, but even in the position that they're in at the moment, I know from other people that they are a good touring handlebar to have in terms of open it up, in terms of making sure that you're not getting that muscle tension in the arms. So coming to the end of this first ride experience, what did I think? I know for me, two wheels is my thing. I can definitely see the benefits of a Trike. People that have disabilities or they're unable to manage their tourer bike, and this is another option, you know, that is a great option for those people. And I guess the other side is people that love the quad style riding, then this is going to work for them. I think overall, I know the build's really good quality here. I think from a riding experience, you can't really compare it to a motorbike because it does feel completely different in terms of the way the suspension feels, in terms of the way you go around the roundabout. It's really hard to then compare this Trike to a motorbike experience. It's just completely different. It goes without saying, I just want to mention a big thank you to Chris Crow, who actually owns this motorbike. It's not a motorbike, Mark, it's a Trike, who owns this Trike, and he's lent it to me for the day, so thank you, Chris, really appreciate it. And guys, without further ado, just make sure you hit that like button if you've enjoyed my first ride experience on a Trike. Finally got that name right. And always make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. Loads of new stuff coming out, guys. It's gonna be a good couple of months, the new Harley Davidson range that should be launching. But as always, whether you be riding a Trike or a bike, make sure you're staying upright. All the best, Motonewbrider.